we're going to need 100 grams of pitted dates, 50 grams of almonds and 50 grams of cashews, along with some chia seeds. To start, you're going to add the almonds and the cashews to a blender. I added them whole, but you can chop them first depending on how powerful your blender is. My blender is quite powerful, so I managed to blend them up as they are, but if you have a slightly less powerful blender, feel free to just chop them in half. Then just blend them until they begin to form a crumble-like mixture. You may need to pulse a few times as well just to get the nuts in the middle, as the mixture does tend to stick to the sides quite a bit. You may need to push the sides down with a fork if the nuts get stuck. And it should look like this once blended. Now, putting that aside, you want to chop your dates in half. This helps them blend into the mixture a bit better as they are sticky. I found trying to use whole dates didn't really work just because the nuts decided they were going to stick to the dates instead of the dates blending. So I do recommend chopping your dates just so you can avoid that and get a good smooth mixture. Then add them to the blender with your nuts you previously blended. And start blending them, and now the dates and the nuts should start sticking together. They may get stuck every so often, so again you may need to just use a fork just to push down the sides, just so you get all the dates and nuts and so the mixture comes together. And just keep repeating this process until the mixture is completely blended and you have the desired consistency. Again, I'm just taking a fork and pushing down the sides just so I make sure I get all the dates and nuts together and don't miss any. And by now your mixture should look like this, like a crumble base for a crumble, but obviously we're using this for energy balls. Now you're going to add this to a big mixing bowl. You can use a slightly smaller mixing bowl if you wish, depending on how much mixture you've made. And I'm also going to take the chia seeds, which I'm going to add to the mixture. I added 2 teaspoons, but you can add more or less depending on personal preference. Now, taking a fork, mix the mixture together. You may need to mash a little bit, as I am doing here, if some of the nuts and dates didn't quite get completely blended in the blender, which is usually the case. So just continue to mix and mash until it begins to stick together. Now, taking about a tablespoon size of mixture, roll it in your hands to form a ball like this. I recommend having slightly wet hands just to help the ball stick better and to avoid the mixture sticking to your hands. Please also make sure your hands are clean before doing this step, as you don't want to get any germs in the energy balls, and keep going until you run out of mixture. This is how they should look. Feel free to adjust the amount of mixture you make depending on how big you want your energy balls to be. I managed to make 6 and pop them in the fridge for a couple hours to set. These ones are super simple to make, using only 2 ingredients, which are 100 grams of dried apricots and some desiccated coconut. Like with the dates, I recommend chopping these ones in half as well, just for the same reasons really, because they're quite sticky and all the other ingredients tend to stick to the outside instead of them blending. So I definitely recommend chopping them in half before you put them in your blender. Then add these to a clean blender. And for the desiccated coconut, I used 3 teaspoons. You can add again however much you like depending on personal preference. I used 3 because it's one of the only other ingredients in this recipe, so I wanted to make sure there was enough to make the desired amount of energy balls. And begin to blend them. You want the same sort of mixture as you had last time, and again you want to push down the sides every so often with your fork just to make sure that you mix it up a bit so all the apricots at the bottom do get blended as well. Add this to a mixing bowl and then take your fork and mix and mash the mixture until it sticks together, as you can see here. This one is actually pretty sticky already, so it doesn't really take a whole lot of mixing. It should just come together nicely. Then, using the same method as the night and day energy balls, take a tablespoon-ish size of mixture and roll it in your hands to form the energy balls. Again, this mixture made 6, so you can do more or less depending on the size of the balls. Also, I love how simple these are to make. They take 2 ingredients which are very cheap to pick up, and you usually have something like this in your cupboard already anyway, so they're so easy to make and easy for on the go. So yeah, just keep repeating this until you've made all the mixture into balls. And again, they should look like this, and you should put them in the fridge to set for a couple of hours. For this recipe you'll need 100 grams of cashews and 2 carrots. Here I have a medium and large. Start by peeling your carrots and chopping off each end. Then, taking a grater, grate all of the carrot. This helps to release some moisture as well, which helps in forming the energy balls later on. Once all of your carrot is grated, you can then add it to a mixing bowl. Again, how much carrot you use is up to you. I say 2 carrots, a medium and large is fine, but you could also use just 2 medium or just a small, depending on how much you want to make and how carroty you want your energy balls to be. Like with the previous recipes, you want to add your cashews to a blender, so you can just blend these up before adding to your carrots. These blended pretty well, probably because it's just one ingredient, so I didn't really have to worry too much about pushing down the sides. Just blend it until you get a flour crumble-like mixture. And taking your bowl of carrot, add the mixture of nuts to that before taking a fork and mixing it together. It should sort of stick together. I did struggle a little bit with getting it to stick, so it does take a little bit of time and it is quite a wet mixture compared to the other 2. I have got a recommendation if you do find you can't form the energy balls. I took this peanut butter, the Whole Earth Organic Smooth Peanut Butter. I just took a tablespoon of this and added it to the mixture just to help with the consistency, and so the carrot and the nuts do stick together. It also tastes pretty good with the carrot as well, so that's a big recommendation. You could also use almond butter or cashew butter, whatever butter really you like, and just keep mixing that until it looks like this. Using exactly the same method, again, just form these in your hand until all the mixture is gone. These are a little bit more fiddly to form as the carrot tends to sort of escape from your hands as you're forming them, but just persevere and you will manage to get it to stick eventually like this. So just keep going until all your mixture has gone. And this is what you should have, so put them in the fridge again for 2 hours to set before enjoying.